Right, so first run of the day is Colin McRae Rally 2 Intermediate percent. Championship percent intermediate, so the intermediate championship by Lucky, and it'll be commentated by myself and by Joseph. So we will be going into the run now. So best of luck, guys. Right, okay. We're live. You're up. So countdown when you're ready.
All right. Am I doing it?
Yeah, you can do if you want.
All right. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Okay, right. So, Colin McRae Rally 2, PC. We have a lot to say about this. I think. What is there to say? Well, first of all, obviously you guys saw this game yesterday, which was being run by Zorfdorf, but it's Lucky's turn now. And obviously a longer championship means he's going to need all the concentration he can get without us. But anyway, whilst he's doing the driving, first rally on the agenda is Finland. Now, Finland is a fast rally, very, very fast. In novice championship, extremely fast. But in intermediate, there's 8 stages, so obviously it's going to be a tad bit longer. You obviously get the day to night stages, and most notably, it comes through obviously the individual stages themselves. So in terms of where we're starting, obviously we start from the beginning and obviously work our way forward. There's a lot of cuts in this, so I'd rather let Lucky show you on the stream than me trying to explain them. But the first few are pretty much ones that you guys saw yesterday. Mainly just cutting through some trees and cutting over the grass and everything like that are the main ones. However, we do have a few little extra cuts because obviously in the intermediate one, the new stages will have brand new cuts for whatever reason, they always do. There's like I said, a good mixture of cuts from throughout the whole run. So you'll see some interesting cuts that you've probably never seen before. And obviously, with it being Lucky driving, expect to see some pretty fast driving too. Obviously, like I said, with Finland, we start with the daytime and we'll work towards the nighttime. There's only one night stage in this entire run. The entire rally, sorry. And that is stage 8, which is the last stage in Finland. And as you can already tell, he's coming right up to the end of stage 1, and it's a pretty good stage time by the looks of it already. So it's already putting me to shame. My best was like a 202, but he can manage it without sweat, as he's just proved. Literally, without breaking a sweat. 202. Just like that. But yes, so obviously, as the run goes by, he's going to be going through a lot of different cuts and going very, very fast. Greece doesn't really have too many cuts, but obviously we'll go through each rally as it goes. And like I said, in terms of Finland, very fast, many, many cuts, and quite hard to get right, in fact, because, like I said, due to its fast capabilities and how fast it is, you'll find that linking up a good run in Finland is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. Now, the likes of Lucky, myself, or anyone that's got a fairly decent time in the novice run makes it look easy. But in fact, it's far from the truth. It isn't easy. It's very, very difficult. But yeah, Joseph, any thoughts on Finland for you when you did the run?
Yeah, of course I'll come back to the game, but I don't know. Finland is not the hardest of them. I don't think so.
It's easy if you're playing it casually, I guess, isn't it?
It's all right.
If
Yeah.
you do the speed run, it's a bit more tricky because you want to go flat out through most of the stages.
Yeah, and that can be challenging if you're not really good at the game. So.
Yeah, exactly. Stage 2 doesn't really have many cuts, as you've seen that Lucky's done a minor one through some trees. There's a major one which is coming up right at the end, which saves around 5 to 10 seconds. So you'll notice that during this run, on some stages, Lucky will often go behind trees. I'll often even use the reset, the reset feature that the game gives you, provided if you go too far out out of bounds, which, funnily enough, provides a really good advantage in terms of stage time. Most notably in Greece, there's a couple of shortcuts where when you get reset, you get respawned further down the line, as Lucky will obviously show you. But I don't know how many cuts that Lucky's going to be doing. I presume he's going to be doing most of them, if not all of them, as he gets a 156 on stage 2, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Obviously, in the Peugeot 205, the new game plus, that would probably be more like a 151 or even maybe a 150, give or take. But it's a very, very fast run, like from start to finish. It seems long because obviously it's nearly 3 hours, but trust me, you need a lot of determination for intermediate. And I wish I was kidding, but unlike Dirt, where it doesn't feel so much of a chore and you get to mix it up, CMR2 feels quite a lot faster. You know, it feels a lot more fast paced compared to the likes of CMR 2005 or any of the other games, if I'm honest. Maybe the first one kind of matches how much fast paced it is, but I honestly don't. I don't think that it can match the fast paced action of this game, if I'm honest. I think this feels like the quickest game to me. But what about you, Joseph? Do you think it feels quick compared to
The
most
game, like the whole
like,
thing.
yeah, like the runs go quick and
I mean, the pace is pretty fast, but it still takes a while. You know, it's quite a bit longer than the other games usually. I mean, I think so.
yeah. So as you can see, and what you can see on stream at the moment, we have stage 4 Finland. Obviously, there's a delay on my screen, so it's only just started it. But this is stage 4 in Finland, and if you remember at the start of stage 1, we had a few little minor cuts that we did. Now, the one that we don't do because we actually don't find it useful and it is pointless is on stage 1. You'll notice that he cut behind all of them trees, but on the way back, if you try that, it's pretty stupid. It's weird because there's some cuts you can do on the first stage that you can't do on the fourth stage, and vice versa. So, for example, on stage 1, you have the cut through the trees that you can do at the end of the stage, but you can't do that on stage 4. And there's a cut which I think Lucky will show up at the end of this stage. You can't do in stage 1 because it's very hard to pull off. But yeah, in stage 4, it's extremely easy. It's weird. It's hard if you try and do the cuts backwards, but it's easy if you try and do them forwards, if that makes sense, and vice versa. It's a bit of a weird one, but like I said, there is a couple of cuts in Finland. Not too many in the latter half, but there is a couple. But for now, I'll let Lucky crack on with the run. And if you've got any additional notes, Joseph, if you've got anything to add, like how
Not
hard it
really.
is, maybe.
I mean, I think you mentioned this already, but this game does it a lot where you see reverses of stages from before. I don't know if I think it's just a bit of laziness from the developer, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've not mentioned that, so it's a good job you've mentioned it. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think it
And
happens in the UK and in uh,
France,
Kenya, right?
I think it happens in most rallies, to be honest. I
Yeah, where
mean,
you see just the
Finland, this
reverse of the
is
stage.
yeah, this stage 4 is a reverse of stage 1. Greece, I think, has one or two reverses. I think it's just one though in total. And I think it's the other one. As we move on to the second half, he's got rain, so he's going to start sliding a bit here, which isn't
Oh
good.
yeah,
But
yeah. Probably already talked about the RNG nature of this, where yeah, there's a lot of the weather
yeah,
can be
RNG is
very
RNG,
yeah.
very RNG based. But there's like I said, in terms of the stages that you overcome during the course of the rallies, a lot of them feel like they've been done very well, and some feel like they're very, very easy to drive. For example, stage 3 on Finland is probably one of the quickest stages, aside from maybe Kenya stage 3. There's a couple of stages that are extremely quick, which I do like, but then there's a fair few that I feel extremely long. I don't know what the longest stage is in this game. It's probably around 3.5 to 4 minutes. And I think that's in the UK, but that's on. Actually, I think it's in this run. I don't know if it's unless it's one of the latter stages, but I think it's stage 5 or stage 7. I can't quite remember. But one of the main cuts, as you see, just which LuckY's probably just done, is the cut through the trees. Funnily enough, I can do that cut, but I always end up smashing into the tree, which is weird. I also take a minor cut through these trees here, but I don't think it's actually worth it. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I'll let you guys crack on and run. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. It seems like he's on stage 7, I believe.
Yep.
So what, we've got stage 7 and stage 8. 8 is the most challenging. I think it is. Is it 8? 8's most challenging because that's the night stage, isn't it? So that's a
Yeah,
night.
I'm not sure about that. Of course, I did try the intermediate a while back, but
I I remember when funnily enough, thinking back to intermediate and intermediate championship, I remember when I first did a run of this category and I had, it was like a 250.04, and then since then it's been brought down dramatically. Like, I say dramatically, like my PB has only just gone under a 250, and yet I think this is probably going to be way under 250. It's probably more like 243 or 244. So this is going to be some hell of a run, provided LuckY can get it right, of course, which isn't easy because, well, I don't know, a mixture of stages, different conditions. You've obviously got tarmac, mud and gravel. Not exactly the easiest thing in the world, but nevertheless, a pretty good run so far. Can't actually remember what was my split for Finland. I'm actually trying to think now about what the best split for Finland was. Probably, oh, I don't know. Best split for Finland's probably 18 something or 17 something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's like I said, it's been remarkable, especially since all the cuts that have been found by LuckY and one or two that have been found by myself. Zorfkov finding his trick that he found with the super special stages. It's unbelievable how fast this game has got in literally like the last few weeks. I mean, I wish we were kidding when we say few weeks, but it has gotten a lot quicker in the last few weeks because of these cuts. It's balmy, like ridiculous.
yeah, this game is really broken now.
Yeah, it's kind of, we didn't, like, we were thinking when we first started running this game, like, I thought this game wasn't that bad. I was thinking, like, wait, you can complete the novice championship in an hour and a half, like, a little over an hour and a half. I was like, no way, that is not possible. And then, as it turned out, yeah, it was well doable. It was really doable because you have these cuts where you're just cutting like half the track pretty much, rather than taking like, well, I don't know, 2.5 minutes to do a stage. You do like a stage in 2 minutes. It's like, wow. Obviously, you can maximize the speed, the possibility, of the stage times. Then it gets even better. Really,
Mhm.
it's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the thing is, with as far as runs go, I think Luck is the only one, maybe Zarkov as well, are the only guys that run with all of these new cuts. And I actually haven't. I've not attempted I've done the new cuts before, but I've not used them in any of the runs that I've done before. So I've got time to get in on my runs, but again, it's going to be hard because obviously Luck is really up to his game. So there's no way I'm going to catch him. But at the same time, the thing is, only novice has been done. Like I said, the only thing is, novice has been done with these cuts. Intermediate, yeah, it's got a fair bit of time to give. Like, there was a lot of new cuts that were found a while back, and LuckY's put them to good use. But now, obviously, with this new, like I said, super special stage trick that was found by Zorfkov that we can now use, and it's really easy, like really easy to use, and it saves you several minutes. It's kind of unbelievable, really. But the thing is, that intermediate, this trick, the one that they used in novice, it's kind of difficult to use in intermediate and expert, especially expert, because obviously your time will be maxed out, whereas the AIs won't be. So chances are, when you're doing the intermediate and the expert, I think you do have to be genuinely quick to beat the AI. By by default, you have to be very quick, and if you're not, then what ends up happening is, obviously, you're going to lose to the AI. Now, the thing is, this game, it's not stingy. You don't have to win all 8 rallies to win the championship. You can win 4 of the rallies and score some pretty good points in the other ones you don't do too well at, and you can probably still just about clutch the championship and win it. Now, in terms of using this trick, I believe in France, because of the amount of skips that are in France, it's relatively easy to beat the AI. But then in the likes of Kenya, that's a lot harder than it looks, by the way. Kenya is fairly tricky because the AI really step up their game. And because of this, it means that you'll have a hard time keeping the lead with this max out thing, you know, the trick does. So it's pretty difficult. But like I said, in terms of how much time you can gain with all the cuts and everything like that, if I was to do a standard run of novice without any cuts, it probably comes to like a 128 or something like that, with my times anyway. But obviously, I can improve the stage times and get that down to like a 127. That's without putting any corners or doing anything stupid, without, you know, using this trick in the super special stages. It's probably like a 127. 128 territory. But then if you do it on intermediate, you're probably looking at like a 252, 253 maybe, with me. And Lucky obviously would be a tad bit quicker than that. But either way, it's interesting because of the fact that you can obviously, like, you can pull off all these cuts, and the stage times you get, just unbelievable. Yeah, it's pretty good. And like I said, in terms of the run, it's more about the cuts than anything else, rather than the actual games and drive and everything like that. Now, one of the main cuts that he does right here at the start of stage 2 is there's a little cut that you can do behind the trees. I do, and he has. As like I said, I've got a delay on my end, so if you end up seeing a delayed response from me, you know why. And obviously, you can cut behind the trees on this grass bank as well as on the next few corners. You'll see him do a few minor little cuts, not major, just minor. But then there'll be a few that he'll do later down the line where he will cut pretty much the entire track. Like I said, it's all about cutting, really. The driving is what really counts for this game, more than the cuts. But you get the cuts and the good driving, you're in for some really good times. Like I said, nothing proves this more than, well, the record runs of this game for all the categories. The one that's the major one, which funnily enough is a bit of a meme, shall we say, a bit of a meme category, which is Mini Cooper %. That uses one of the biggest cuts in the game, and it's really easy with the Mini due to its small size. Now, putting it blatantly, you might, if you watch the CMR2 novice run that Zorkov did yesterday, you'll have noticed that he tried to do a cut and unfortunately failed. Now, with the Mini, that run, that trick, the cut that you can do it with ease, practically. It might take 1 or 2 attempts, but you can do it a lot easier due to the Mini's small size. And long story short, the cut actually makes the entire stage about 1.5 to 1 to 1.5 minutes quicker than it should be. So basically, the cut is you go behind the fence and you go through what looks like a stable fence. It looks solid. You can actually drive through said fence, and by going out of bounds, you can basically skip most of the stage. You get respawned right at the stage, and essentially cut like a minute and a minute and a half out. With this car, it's not possible. Well, when it is possible, it's not impossible. You can do the cut with this car, but we found that due to its massive size, in my opinion, its massive backside, it's too big to fit through the gap. So we don't really try and use it. But yeah, like I said, plenty of different cuts. Most of these ones, myself and Joseph know as well as obviously Lucky, because he's doing the driving. In fact, Lucky's the like Lucky. We keep reiterating this, that most of the cuts you see are ones that Lucky has found whilst playing the game, and he's actually been. I could say that Lucky's gone as far as he's been browsing for cuts on every single stage. And he keeps going back to us with like, hey, there's this new cut I just found, and he shows us these like 10-second save on the stage. It's like, how? Like the one that you just saw there, that one, I didn't even know you could do that. And in terms of how many seconds that saves on the stage, probably looking at like 10 seconds. It's mad. Providing you get a good line, obviously, up this hill and everything, it's unbelievable. Like, absolutely unbelievable. And it's pretty insane. Like
The cut he did where he had to drive down into the valley and respawn, like that was the moment where like this game is totally broken.
yeah, exactly. I think the one that, like I said, the one that I've just mentioned with the UK, I think that's the one that signifies to this game extremely broken. But at the same time, you can use these exploits to your advantage. Like you can do it in, obviously, you can do these cuts in novice, most of them in the first 4 stages, but then obviously intermediate, there's even more cuts because there's more stages. And expert, we can't seem to find too many. As it stands right now, there hasn't been too many found for the last 2 stages of each rally, which is what expert consists of. It's 10 stages per rally instead of 8. With it being 11 stages on those rallies that have a super special stage. We have found that it is extremely difficult to perform the super special stage trick on some rallies and be able to score enough points to win the championship. So it's kind of risky with that one. It's kind of, do you take the chance on the super special stage or don't you? And in most cases, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll take the chances. The problem is, like with novice, these cuts are easy, so anyone can pull them off, and anyone can do the cuts. But then with intermediate, you're taking a massive gamble with those that can do the cuts, but will not be fast enough to beat the AI still, and still win the championship. So yeah, it's pretty disappointing to me. Imagine, look at it this way, like imagine you do a run of this, and you get to, say, Italy, and what ends up happening is you get to Italy, and guess what? You don't have enough points to get through the championship. It's game over. That can happen in this game. It's easier to do in the first Colin McRae rally, I'll say that now, but meaning that it's not as easy to do it in this. But if you do that trick in this game and you get put in, like, say, 7th or 8th, and you've not got enough points to continue, then it will give you a game over. Now, I'm not trying to say that if you're not fast enough, then you'll be out and sink like a stone, but that's kind of how it works if you're using the cuts. If you want to play it safe, play through the stages as you would with the cuts, just don't use the super special stage trick, and you should be fine. You know, if you score 3rd in the rally without using the super special stage trick, then that's probably better than having to do the trick and then find out, wait a minute, I didn't score enough points and it's game over. So you get what I'm trying to say with that one, but it's not exactly, it's an easy game to pick and play, I think, this game, if I'm honest. But I don't know about it. We have, funnily enough, myself and Joseph have had this discussion before, which game we think would be the easiest to get into, as in easiest to pick up, play, and even speedrun. And I don't think I ever really said this game, but I mean, I personally think if you should start somewhere, start with the first game. But if you want to get a bit of a challenge, or you can, if you've got a bit of stamina, what playtime you get out of a game, then highly recommend trying the novice championship on this. Because, like I said, the thing is, the controls on this as well, the handling, is not that bad, to be honest, not for a 2000s game, and the graphics look somewhat semi-decent for a 2000s game as well. Now, I wouldn't say you could get away with the fact that it's, obviously it was made in 2000, so the graphics aren't going to look like 1080p, but you gotta admit, it kind of stacks up against those sort of games that came out around the same time fairly easily, especially with the silent patch as well, because the silent patch that's on here that you can get for the game, that actually allows your graphics to be boosted to 720p and 1080p, I believe. So if you really want to play this game in 1080p, there is an option to do so, which is quite odd for a game made in 2000, but at the same time, pretty damn cool if you're one of those people who really likes to see you know, the graphics and all that stuff. Like, really wants to get the best out of this game. But yeah, just excuse me. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, he's at, I think stage 7 he's at the moment, if I'm looking at it correctly, as it stands right now. I do apologise, I keep nipping out and doing stuff. I just got a few bits to sort out whilst this is going on. But yeah, so you always have seen a couple of cuts that he's done himself in Greece. Although mainly just a few here and there. There's been a few major ones which you probably might have already seen, where he'll cut several big chunks of the track by literally just going out of bounds or going off on a tangent, and the game will go, nope, we'll respawn you. And it respawns you further down the line, which, like Joseph was saying before, it shows you really how broken this game is. It's pretty mad, really, when you think about it. Obviously, you can just cut across grass and things like that rather than take the course normally. because that's always an option. But obviously, you've got all the cuts that you can do where you just go, right, I'm going to skip over here, go behind these trees. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll go, no, respawn you, but you're further down the line. Like, oh, there you go. You know, there you go. Yeah, any notes to add, Joseph, for Greece? Favourite rally? Not favourite? Not fond of it? Fond of it?
It's okay. It's not too difficult, so you won't be
Would you
frustrated
say
with it.
this game gets harder as it goes on?
It depends on that, but I think Greece is kind of. It's always been a bit easier than the other ones.
What would you say? What was your personal, let's say, your personal hitch? You know, what's the pain in the ass rally for you? What's the hardest one you've had?
Um, Sweden can be a pain because of that cut. Like that's frustrating for me. Um, in stage 2, I think. Yeah. Uh, I think Italy's quite hard too. I know it's on asphalt, but it's very technical. So yeah, that can be a bit challenging as well.
Yeah, not a fan of stage 2 Italy.
No, not really.
If I'm honest, like for me, France is probably my. Ooh, what is it? France is probably like my favourite one, but then at the same time isn't my favourite one. As we can see, Lucky doing one of his many adventurous cuts that, funnily enough, saves a lot of time here. It's a bit weird at how much time this actually does save. It looks like it's taking him forever, but trust me, when he comes out the other side in a second, you'll see how far it actually spawns it. There you go. That's actually saved him around the region of about 10 or 15 seconds. It doesn't look like it saves any. It looks like, why is he going off-road and doing this pointless skip? But it's not pointless. It does save a lot of time. More so than you think, but in terms of, anyway, mentioning like some favourite rallies and least favourite, I think I could probably join you on maybe Italy stage 2, but then at the same time, I kind of like Italy. Mainly because it's kind of, if you screw up, there's always a barrier there to kind of stop you. And I always see it as a car wrecker because more so than any other rally in the game. I mean, the UK is not that bad. Maybe the latter stages on the intermediate are quite bad. But in terms of what stages you actually have to fight again, yeah, I don't think there's too many bad stages in there. I think Italy does have a lot of bad stages, and it's kind of when you do, um, when you actually do the run on novice, you'll find that, well, for example, that runs are going to disappear and everything's going to go mad. It's a bit weird, to be honest. It's crazy as well how much time that you can gain, like I said, with all the cuts and everything. I don't know. Italy for me is my favourite, but also my least favourite. I have like a love-hate relationship with the Italian rally because, like I said, it's fast-paced. There's always corners there. All these barriers that are on the outside of the track, waiting to come and meet, rise up and meet you and smash your car to pieces. And providing if you're not careful, your car will get severely damaged. Severely damaged. And I know that a lot of runners, fellow CMR2, will know that firsthand, including me. Firsthand when I used to play the game and used to hate Italy. Italy now isn't so much of a hard chore. On intermediate and expert, there's a lot more concentration needed. A lot more. So it makes the game seem like 10 times harder. But I don't know. Also, I see Lucky is trying this cut. Can he get it though? That's the question. Oh, he's got it. Nice. That saved him time. I think he's won. Yeah, he's won the championship. Ooh. Won the rally, sorry. So he's also adjusted his gearbox to short. Now, I personally don't believe there's much difference. I believe the more speed you can get out of the car, the better. But at the same time, Lucky believes, and I think it's the reason why he's using it, is because the short gearbox helps because there's a lot of corners and not many straights. But obviously, each to their own, really, on which one's quicker. I mean, I personally believe making the gearbox just doesn't make a difference, but obviously he does. But like I said, I guess it's all players' preference. One that we definitely made which we say definitely comes in useful, is in Kenya. So in Kenya, we actually set the gearbox to one nozzle to the right, so one click to the right, and that allows us to get a higher top end speed for the car. Now, in this game, it's a bit more tricky than that. It's not as easy as you think. It's actually a lot more harder. Because in Kenya, obviously, we get more top speed, but obviously that provides more opportunity to. You've obviously got more opportunity to screw up. So it's not exactly the easiest rally in the world, but either way, a rally is a rally, and love it or hate it, Kenya can be very hard on yourself because not only that, the first 4 stages, it's like a walk in the park in Kenya. First 4 stages. Then you get to stages 5 to 8, which you're going to see in this rally, and the stages get a bit more twisty, turny. There's a bit more, should we say, there's a bit more less leeway, if you can call it that. So on the outside of the track, the trails will often swap your car around. And if you tag it with the front wheel, your car will often spin. Now, it's happened a fair few times to everybody, but in most cases, it's fairly punishing rally. And not to mention, the weather can change quite interestingly when it does. It doesn't rain very often in Kenya, but when it does rain, you better watch out because with Kenya, it makes the rain makes the racing a whole lot harder because your car's all set up for dry and you don't expect rain. In the UK, obviously you'll expect rain, so I presume that Lucky will probably be changing tyres at some stage. Some stage in the UK, but for the most part, I don't think he'll be changing tyres or anything for any of the rallies. Unless it rains, obviously, then he will be doing. But yeah, you got anything to add about France, Joseph?
Not really. It's not that challenging, I guess. The first 4 stages is decent. I'm not sure about the other ones. There's also really no cuts here, right? That it's just kind of you just go.
So, no. I've been meaning to try one though on stage 1 now that I've just seen it. And that is, where you get onto that really long fast section after the second checkpoint.
No, not really.
Over the grass.
Not really.
Let's see. On stage 1, you've got the hairpin near the start.
Yeah.
You have to go around that hairpin. You have the checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I presume you know what I mean. Do you know
Yeah, I do.
And as you're going through that, I believe I just saw then. I think it's possible to cut behind them railings now and go flat out behind the railings towards the trees, towards the track again. I think that actually might be quicker, but I don't want to really do it now. But I just saw that. I was like, oh, that could be a cut. So yeah, as most people could probably guess, we are looking for new cuts, and we might end up spotting a few new ones here. Obviously, most of them are the ones that Lucky will be using will be the ones that he's found, or ones that were found before. The major one, though, funnily enough, the ice skip was found by Zorkov, actually. He was the one that mainly found it and showed it to us. I only found out, I think he found that when he was doing, he did, what was it, a Mini Cooper run, when we used to do runs of the rallies. And he did a run of Sweden. I noticed that he got about 20 or 30 seconds faster than me. I was thinking, right, okay, surely something's up here. There must be a reason as to why he's so much faster. Turns out this ice skip was the reason. It's pretty balmy, really, but it's a cut that we've used ever since. And I introduced it into my run and found that it saves 30 seconds. Obviously, then Lucky found some new cuts, and we found more. More new cuts have been found. Then there was a skip with the trick that you can do with the AI on the super special stage, and it makes it even more faster. It's unbelievable how fast this game has gotten. Like I said, I can't emphasize that enough. This game has turned quicker, quicker, and quicker. And like I said, not to dump too much praise on him, but Lucky is one of the main guys responsible for all this. Obviously, that I can't, miss out the rest of the guys, the original guys that found most of the cuts that we use, and we have always used, like for example in Finland, cutting through all the grass and them sort of cuts. I can't exactly forget to give them credit because without them guys, this game wouldn't be as fast. We probably would have found them fairly quickly, but obviously credit where it's due. That without the guys running this, and like some Lucky, Zorkov, and all of the other runners that have managed to find tricks and cuts and all that stuff on all the stages, this game would not be nearly as fast as it is now. And intermediate, this category would probably be around 3 hours long, give or take. Maybe a bit short of 3 hours, but unbelievably slow. And like I said, thanks to all the runners, we've managed to get this game down a fair bit. Funnily enough, out of all of the games that there is in the Colin McRae Rally series, this game has the most cuts ever, I would say. It's the one that's got the most glitches, cuts, and the whole shebang, really. CMR1 doesn't have many cuts. Yeah, in fact, it barely has any. This one has plenty. 3 barely has any. 04 has 1 or 2. And then 2005, obviously, as you saw off Horizon last night, has a fair few of its own. But I don't think there's any rally or any. Sorry, no, I don't think there's any other game in the CMR series that has as many cuts or glitches or is as broken, put it blatantly, as this game. I don't know about you, Joseph, but would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I think I would.
Nice to know.
I mean, like when we were playing, say, CMR3, I don't even remember any cuts. We just play that and just go.
Yeah.
Don't have to
There is
worry.
one good thing with CMR3 though, and that is in Sweden. The snowbanks are actually really fun to bounce off. You're like a ping pong ball. Which
Oh
Joseph,
man.
funnily enough, has mentioned upon this in the past, but it's actually quite funny when you play CMR3 and you're in Sweden. Now, unlike most games that do their job and actually put you in snowbanks, slow you down, Sweden in CMR3 is a whole different kettle of fish. It doesn't slow you down, no. You can use it as a bloody pinball table, and you just like ping, 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 ping off all sides of the tracks. It's really, really fun. It's probably for me one of the most fun rallies in that game, Sweden. And I don't say that much because in whatever racing game or whatever rally game I played, Sweden, no matter what, has been a pain in the ass because of the snow and the ice. But CMR3, there's just something about it that I can't hate, that I actually like about it. The super special stage is okay, but I think that's probably my only complaint. Other than that, I think it's probably one of my most favourite rallies in CMR3, to be honest. Most, like I said, most favourite rally in this game being either France or Italy, which, funnily enough, we're at. Now, as you can already tell, France, and as Joseph mentioned, there's barely any cuts in France. It's a very fast rally. There's not really much to mention about it, to be honest. It's very grippy. But be warned, like Italy, this rally will wreck your car. Not nearly as easily as Italy would, because there's barriers everywhere and your car will just can slide off at any moment. However, not in this one, it doesn't. Because, alright, there's a few brick walls around, but providing, you can handle the car won't get smashed up as bad. The only downside, like I said, the last 4 stages, that is your only downside. Because stages 5 to 8 of France, as you'll see after this, is a real pain. It's a real bugbear. It's not very fun, and the stone walls, I believe it's stage 7, which has a lot of stone walls all around, is for me one of the hardest stages in France. I don't think there's any other hard stage. Maybe stage 9 or 10 on expert, but in terms of the intermediate stuff, without a doubt, it has to be stage 7. Stage 8 is relatively quick, but can be slightly tricky. But I don't think it's too difficult, if I'm honest. And the one thing I will mention, as well, as you'll see in a second, there is a cut, which was found. I think it was me that found this one, I can't remember. But, yeah, this little cut here where you go across the grass bank, we didn't realise you could do this. But it was something I was wondering one day. I was like, maybe that does save time. Turns out that saves about, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds, which is pretty good. So, like I said, the more time we can save, really, for any runs, for whatever cut it may be, the better. And obviously, in this case, a lot better. Also, I can't help but notice that LuckY's done it. That was an exceptionally good time, 2:35.92. Jesus Christ. I think that was a PB time as well. Holy cow. Well done, LuckY. If you can hear me, that is. Yeah, well done. Also, he's smart. He's played this one tactical, hasn't he? Put wet tyres on. Well done. Smart move. Now, obviously, you're thinking, well, yeah, wouldn't you do that normally? Well, yes and no. The reason why it's kind of like, yeah and no, is because wet tyres in this game, they don't feel like they work half the time, especially tarmac. Yeah, they really don't feel like they work very much. But they do. And you'd be surprised at how well they work. I mean, unfortunately, because of the rain, he's obviously going to get slower stage times than he'd like, but that's no fault of his own. The thing is, like Joseph said, the weather is RNG. It's just completely RNG. So, for example, to get the best possible time on novice, you'd have to get no rain on any of the rallies, including the UK. And the UK has to be the main, should we say, the main turning point of the run. If you don't get any rain in UK, consider yourself extremely lucky on novice. If you don't get any rain on intermediate, you're practically feel it. You know, we would say like, oh, you're hacking the game. And if you don't get any rain on expert, then well, I don't think that's been known to happen yet. But there'll be one day where someone will do an expert run of the UK and it won't rain. But yeah, it's extremely RNG based in terms of the weather that you get on stages. For the most part, it should stay dry. But obviously, because it's random, you don't know what you're going to get. Think of it as how Dirt Rally's weather system worked before Dirt Rally came out. It's one of those things, really. It's one of those systems. It's a nice touch as well. If I'm being genuinely honest about it, it's a nice little touch because it makes the runs more interesting. I think it gives it an extra factor rather than unlike in the first Colin McRae rally game where you could anticipate the weather because the weather never changed. It was always right. You were going to get dry on the first two stages of New Zealand, but then wet on stage three, and so on. On this game, it's like right, I'll start a new run. They'll be like, I hope I get dry weather. Please give me dry weather. That is how you're thinking with this game. You're just hoping and praying that the RNG, the weather RNG, is good to you, and that you don't get rain very often. Obviously, the less rain you get, the quicker you'll get on the stages and all that stuff. And to make things even harder, it's like two different types of rain. I think there's the light rain, and then there's the heavy rain. And I believe what LuckY's got at the moment on stage 5 is the heavy rain, but I do believe it can get heavier than that. I could be wrong. I think this might be light rain. I don't know. Well, it's more like light rain actually. But you can get. It's like it's hard to say. It's like three different types of rain, like I'm making it stand out. But you get the idea. There's several different weather. You get regular, clear, so it's obviously sunny. You obviously have cloudy, overcast, light rain, heavy rain, and as far as weather goes, you can actually get storm conditions. Now, the only time I know you can get the storm conditions are Italy and the UK. But other than that, it's practically impossible to get a storm in any other rally. Sweden has the addition of snow blizzards and snowstorms, because obviously Sweden being Sweden, apparently that's a thing. But obviously the weather effects are slightly different for that one, for obvious reasons. You don't, as I said, you don't get rain, you get snow because it's cold climate. But yeah, I'll obviously, as you can tell, LuckY's really going for it. And yeah, anything to add, Joseph? Do you think?
Not really. Just observing.
Yeah, but I'll be quiet once again, and I'll let LuckY crack on with his run. If I can think of anything else, I'll let you guys know. Right, just to let Lucky know, I know he can hear me easily. Just to let you know, you're coming up at around nearly 1 hour on your run, just so you know. Which I think you're doing pretty well at so far.
Yeah, for some reason I keep forgetting how long intermediate actually is. Like, wait, we're still in France?
Yeah. I don't actually know. Ooh, 249 dead, well done. That's actually an out. I don't know why, there's something satisfying about when a stage time ends like bang on the dot. It's just satisfying.
That
Anyway,
was
stage 8.
a PB though.
Yeah, still. Very good PV too. Stage 8. Ooh, what's this to say about this stage? Well, it's a short one for a start. Literally like about a minute and 10 seconds. It's not too difficult, I don't think. It does get slightly trickier as you get into the stage, but honestly, it's not that hard. I'd like to say, yeah, this is really difficult, but it isn't. Trust me. It's kind of hard to explain France, to be honest. I mean, I think I've spoken about most things with France and most things about this game so far. I'm kind of just taking it as it goes, really. Yeah, I think you're on track. Actually, he's on track to finish France in less than an hour. So this is pretty good. As in, he's got to France in less than an hour. I'm actually starting to wonder, what was my PV split now? I think my PV was like a 102 or 103. It's probably worse than that, actually. Also, the fact that it's a night, it's turned night down. Okay. Right, 59.45 I've got for when he finished front. I think he's up on his PB by a mile. Sweden, right. I hope the weather's good. Ooh, it's not. Oh, he's got a challenge on his hands. He should be alright though, I know he's got this. So yeah, this is
How
one of the other weather effects we mentioned. The snowstorm.
how
And I
bad
think
does
this
it
is like snow.
actually affect? How bad does the snow actually affect the driving? Like
As
when it's
far as I
snowing,
know,
as
it doesn't make much of a difference. It can hamper your visibility slightly, especially when you have, say, if you do a night stage and you have a snowstorm, it can hamper your visibility only slightly though, because obviously you've got something that's trying to distract you. But on the drive, like when during the daytime and everything, it's completely fine. I think it just affects your vision at night. To be honest, I've not found that it affects your driving sense. You know, like does the car oversteer more or does it slide into corners more? Honestly, I don't really think it does make a difference. It just looks and feels like it makes a difference, I think, to me. But it probably
Mhm.
doesn't. I mean, Lucky's margin just fine anyway with the snow effect. I don't think it should matter if you've got, say, snow, you know, if you've got snow or it's clear. Also, speaking of which, I think this is a good opportunity to mention something about Sweden and Greece. So, I don't know how many people know about this, but there's a nice little trick you can do. It isn't useful in a speed run because it's just some, it's just the way of tricking the game into doing something. So I think it's only possible on the PS1 version, though I haven't really tried it on PC. It's only possible on PS1, I think. But the trick goes like this. So you start with Sweden, stage one, and you tell it that you want a snow blizzard. I think it is, or a snow shower or something like that. When you do like a single stage. If you then manage to be quick enough, like you start the race, you quit out of it dead quick, and then start loading into Greece stage one, it'll actually start snowing on Greece stage one because the for some weird reason the weather effects get all confused and everything, and this weird glitch happens where you're driving Greece in the snow. Now I don't know if it works with full rallies or anything like that, but I do believe it's a really weird effect. Like I said, it works on the PS1 version of the game. So if you have that version, feel free to try it out for yourself. It's very easy to do. If you don't know how to do it, I do believe there are tutorials on YouTube that show you how. But yeah, it's a really weird gimmick in like how it works. Honestly, I do not know why or how it just works. It's really bizarre. Just sub 250 as well. Very nice. Also, I hope everyone watching back on the McRaeathon channel currently Hope all you guys are enjoying yourself, and looking forward to the upcoming runs for today. Next up will be myself with Colin McRae Rally 04, the two-wheel drive championship, and then later down the line we will have some more CMR2. However, that will be the Game Boy Advance version by Joseph. We'll also have Colin McRae Dirt 2 by Gallon Boy, or Gallon as I usually call him. And we'll also have some Dirt Showdown, and not to mention that really good race between Joseph and Hypno on Rally School Percent, as well as a run by Hypno, obviously, later on today with the Colin McRae Rally 1. So plenty of runs to look forward to today, and obviously we'll be doing afterthoughts later on with a big announcement which will be coming at the end of the marathon. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But for now, as Lucky literally just comes up to do that cut. Did he get it? He got the first one. There's two different cuts on this one. Turns out there's two ways of doing it. So you have this first one here, but there's also a second cut. This second cut causes more grief than it. Yeah, this one causes a lot of grief, although Lucky seems to get it first try. Now, there is another way of doing a cut on this stage. However, I think he's gone for the safe strats, really. There is another one which he found, which is if you go in the corner to your right over here, so you'll notice there's like a little fence. When you're on the ice section, if you go over to that and perform a cut there, it will respawn you right near the start of the where the snowbank, where he came off the ice and went onto the snow. It actually skips most of that ice section, and it actually saves you more time than you think. But unfortunately, because of the fact that it's quite hard to pull that cut off with the Seat and with the cars, because you're actually going that much more slower, and you have to hit it at some speed as well to obviously to get the cut to activate. But yeah, obviously he's gone for the safe one. But like I said, there is another cut that he could have done, but obviously I know he's playing it safe at the moment because I think he wants the PB. So one way of doing it is this way. Also, this is looking like a pretty good time. Will it be sub 2:30? The answer? Yes. 2:28.95. That's pretty good. Actually, that's really good. I think in the Persia you can get that down to like a 2:25 or something like that. But in the CR, the fastest you can get is just like sub 2:30. There'll also be a few minor cuts that he'll be using on stage 4, I believe, which include the other ones that it includes. The ones that he's doing on stage 4, there is a few minor cuts, which include the likes of like little passages through the trees and things like that, which I'm sure he'll be showing off. I'm hoping anyway. But yeah, there's quite a few little nifty little cuts. Like I said, the major one in Sweden is, as you saw, the ice skip. That's the main one. So if you get that, then you're on for a massive time save. And just to mention how long it takes without the ice skip. When I did it without any cuts, like by driving the ice section and everything like that, it took me around 3 minutes or 3 and a bit minutes to do that stage alone. So to do it with the cuts, you save like 40 to 50 seconds. It's pretty ridiculous. And again, another thing, it's another cut that shows just how broken this game is, like the rest. Speaking of broken games, Colin McRae Rally 1 on PC is a broken buggy mess, as Joseph would tell you. We've tried on several occasions to get that game to work and just can't really get it to work. There was somebody who got it to work once, but unfortunately, they are no longer part of the community and have left. So it's a case of we've been trying to find solutions to try and get it to work. But like we said, no solutions. So unfortunately, CMR1 on PC probably won't be happening anytime soon. Not for runners anyway, because they're just a buggy mess.
We tried so many things over so many months, and we just
Unlike this game, I don't think I've not had many problems with it. I know that Hypno's had a few problems with it lately on Windows 10, but I'm sure we can get that issues fixed unless they've been resolved. I think they might have been, but yeah, there's not many. The thing is with the CMR series, the first game on PC was a bit of a buggy mess. it would barely play. CMR2 is not as bad. It's not flawless by any means. It can crash. I had it crash a few times on me when I first installed it, like years ago, and that was just because of the fact that I didn't have the Subaru files. So obviously the car wouldn't load. So every time I loaded up a stage, the other cars would load, but then I loaded with the Subaru, and the game would just crash. So that was a problem years ago, but thankfully I've sorted it out since then. So yeah, I think CMR 3, 04, 2005, the other PC versions of the games aren't too bad. They're actually okay and do quite well. So it's one of those things really with the series. One of those things. Anyway, I'll let Lucky crack on with the run as he's hopefully going to do the cuts for us now. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, at this current moment, he's progressing nicely through Sweden actually, which is good. We've currently got a pretty good time actually from what I can tell at the moment. He's well on the way to beating his PB from what I can tell. And he's definitely going to be beating mine, I can tell you that for nothing. My job the estimate was a 248, but I think he'll get well under that, to be honest, especially with the new cuts and the new tricks and everything. I expect this to be a pretty good run, pretty quick run as well. Just out of curiosity, for the people that are watching currently on the McRaeathon channel, but how many of you guys have played this game before? I presume everybody's played it before, or a lot of people have seen it but never played it, maybe. Yeah, just intrigued to find out, really, because the fact that I know a lot of people that have played this game in the past and used to play it, you know, in their childhood and things like that. Just intrigued if they've played it or not, really. If you have, then yeah, definitely recommend giving it a try. You know, giving it if you've got the time, of course. You know, to try and speedrun it because of the fact that we always do the competition, of course. So we'll welcome any new runners. In terms of people thinking, oh well, it's not for me and stuff like that. You know, well, obviously, it's not for everybody, but you know, if you give it a try, you give it a try. If you don't, you don't. Yeah, so obviously, as you can tell, it's coming up to near enough the end of Sweden. We've got stage 7, which is currently going on at the moment. See, he's then got stage 8, which I think is about a 2.5-minute stage, roughly. And he's got the super special stage where he gets to do that nice little cut that he can do. Not the cut, the trick, sorry, with the AI. So you'll get to see that again. In case most people don't know why this is, you know, what the trick is. So, in case people don't know how it works, so basically, if you go the wrong way, it'll obviously show you the message saying you're going the wrong way. But if you hit the other car, you get instantly disqualified. Now, it doesn't disqualify you from the rally, it just disqualifies you from the stage and by means of just maxing out your time. That's pretty much how it works. It just maxes out time of the stage to about 3 minutes. So it's not too bad, to be honest. I mean, if it was, then we wouldn't use it. But the fact is that it does speed things up because, all right, your in-game time will be slower throughout the run, but your RTA will be faster. Hence the reason why we use the guts and why we use that little trick during the run. So one of those nice little cuts. Like I said, it's one that comes in useful in this game. Funnily enough, I've tried it in some of the other CMRs, and we found out that the game will either reset you or just disqualify you outright. Like, for example, I tested it in Colin McRae Rally 1. It is possible to do that. You can get disqualified. However, you will be disqualified from the rally. So, unlike this one where you get disqualified from the race, just maxes out your time and you still get to win the rally, if you do it on CMR1 in any of those rallies, then unfortunately what happens is the time that you got for that stage will no longer, will no longer be a thing, and you'll be disqualified outright. You won't be able to do it. CMR3 doesn't work. You don't get disqualified. You don't just hit the car and it respawns you. CMR04, you try and go backwards, the game will respawn you straight away to prevent you from going backwards, and then the same for 2005 as well. So you can only do it in this game, and it only comes in useful unless there's a way of doing it in 3, 4, and 2005. But I personally think if you just stay still without the game respawning, like you don't reverse, you just wait for the AI to come around and eventually hit you. I think it does work in CMR 3, 04, 2005, if I'm honest. But who knows? Yo, hey Hypno, thanks for the good luck. I'm sure LuckY would appreciate it. I've not forgotten about your run. I think your run's coming up later on, isn't it? If I remember correctly. You've got your championship percent run. Are you nervous? I presume so. Yeah. Oh, you believe so? Okay. Yeah, I don't know about you being nervous. I wouldn't worry too much anyway. If you are nervous, fairly confident you can give good commentary. Fair enough. That's good. Good confidence. I like it. As long as you can sub 58. Woo. I think you can do it. I mean, you did. What's your best time so far? 55, isn't it? So 58 should be easy, unless you screw up. But I don't think you will. You showed a lot of promise when you did your D-Rust runs as well. Oh, you're a bit nervous on your commentary. That's not too bad. Yeah, your commentary's not bad though, is it? Let's be honest. You'll be fine. I think you got it. So, I flipped over the Toyota. Hey, nice. Nice. On to Australia now. Pretty tough rally. I don't like it as me. Personally, Australia. I'm not a fan of it. Then there's a lot of things at Australia that can also kill you when you look at the real life version of it as well. As Carl Pilkington put it, great white sharks, black red spiders, funnel web spiders, kangaroos, snakes, lizards. Apparently, it's like some of the reasons I won't go to Australia. Apparently, that's his reasons, but for me, it'd just been spiders. Snakes, I should be fine with, but, and again, I don't know. I might just scream if I ever see this. But no, Australia's a rally, pretty good. I think it's better in other games than this one. I don't know why I find Australia in this game not as great as it is in the others. So, but yeah, there is like a little cut you can do between the trees. Obviously, LuckY's not done that. But I think, like I said, I think it's just playing it safe for the sake of the marathon. It's fair enough on him, to be honest. But there is like little cuts here and there on some of the stages you can do. But for the most part, though, nothing too bad. Nothing to kind of wreck you unless you go flying into the trees, which can be a big problem. Some of the cuts at the end of the stages are not exactly easy to pull off. Like, you'll make them look easy, but when you drive them yourself, you might struggle a bit. Once you know the exact route between the trees, like, which way to go. There isn't any major cuts in Australia, so it's kind of just major driving, if I'm honest. All those things. Also, it is actually possible to hit the tree as you go over that jump, go over the blue billboard, and then hit the tree, carry on going. It is possible to do that. Like I said, Australia isn't exactly, it's not a great rally in my eyes in this one. I mean, the stages feel bland compared to the other rallies, but that's just, I don't know about Joseph, but that's just how I feel about them, about Australia.
I'm kind of indifferent to them. Like, they're okay. They're sort of in the middle of the road when it comes to challenge. So.
Not too hard, not too easy though.
Yeah.
What about the stage design?
Well, it's alright. I mean, I think the stages in, like, stages past 4 are actually more boring than the novice stages.
Oh, that was an interesting end to the stage. Literally, somebody clip that, please. That was amazing. Literally, front flip, back flip, whatever you call that front flip, actually. That wasn't. That was pretty impressive, actually. Well done. It's a shame, though, he's wrecked his car, but at the same time, that's what you call putting on a show, that. Showboating. Look at me getting a front flip. I know he didn't mean it, but still. I don't know. Like I said, Australia is kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I think it's a bit of a bland rally. That's how I find it. And I'm also I hate to say it. This is a personal grudge I have against it. I'm not very quick on the stages compared to the likes of Luck. Like, LuckY can do these stages several seconds faster than me, and I don't know how he does it, if I'm honest. Especially stage 4, like, Jesus Christ. He does that stage a lot quicker. Like, sub 3 minutes for me is only just possible, yet he can blitz that and do it in 252 or 253 or something like that. Obviously, the Peugeot's a bit quicker, but yeah, with this guy, it's just unbelievable how fast he can do Australia. I'd say this is more, in terms of like LuckY's hunting ground, this is his personal hunting ground. So I've never been able to beat LuckY whatsoever, whether it be novice, intermediate, even on my PB run. I am not nearly as quick as LuckY is at Australia. I don't know why, I'm just not that much. Even when I'm driving flat out, I can't beat him. It's weird chemistry I have with this rally. But yeah, Italy. I absolutely love Italy. Like I said, it's a big challenge. I like the challenge of Italy. The one like I said, I'm not a fan of the UK too much, but then it's not as hard thanks to the cuts that have been found over the last year or so. But for the most part, it's like I said, a somewhat decent rally. You do have to watch the rocks here, which thankfully LuckY did. But like I said, there's a fair few places where you can easily mess up, cock up on it. So it's not like I said, not an easy rally to win. So just be warned, those people that are thinking of running this game, keep an eye out on Australia, or at least practice Australia a bit, because it is hard. It will kill you, and it will wreck your car, as LuckY's already proved. Also, just coming up to 130 as it stands, LuckY, just to let you know. About a minute off anyway, a minute off 130, so just to let you know. It's probably worth mentioning as well that there isn't just a championship mode in this game. There's something called challenge mode. And for those that don't know what challenge mode is, it's basically you've seen us do, you've seen LuckY do the super special stages. Basically, challenge percent is you do a set of 4 rounds. You can pick, actually, this is the best thing. So challenge percent, we have a certain requirement for the settings that you must use. So what it is on challenge percent, you have these super special stages that you obviously are looking to do in this run, and you've got to do 4 rounds. Those being the national finals. Well, I don't know what it is. It's kind of split up. You have 16 races, then it's 8, then 4, then 2. And the idea is you need to win the challenge, one of the stages. Now, obviously, you've got the Greece track that you've got to do. There's the Swedish one, the Kenya track, and the UK track, in order to, obviously, to win. Now, in the championship percent, you can skip these by means of being disqualified. However, in challenge percent, you have to do them. There's no ifs or buts about it. You do have to do them. The challenge percent, it consists of 5 stages. So it's like you get your typical one. You've got Greece, you've got Sweden, you've got Kenya, you've got the UK. There's the bonus track, which is only available in the challenge mode for some odd reason, and that is Japan. Now, the Japan track, there's only one in the entire game, and that's that one. Oh, that wasn't good. As I just saw him smash his car up. But Japan, basically, it's a very short track. It's not that short, but short enough. And it's a little fun track that you can do. But like I said, we have, to make things work and to make sure everyone's on equal playing field, we have, you have to have specific settings for how it works. So, for example, you've got to have it make sure that you have 4 rounds, and you have to start at Japan. So you have to do Japan, Greece, Sweden, Kenya, and the UK in that order. Now, by default, Japanese track is the only one that's unlocked. So you either have to get the unlock all tracks to unlock, the other track to do the full run, or you have to complete the championship to unlock the other stages. Now, like I said, it's a bit of a fun run that you can do. So that's one of the categories that you can do in this game, other than the championship. The other one being arcade percent. It has an arcade mode. Now, the one that you saw yesterday, which was Joseph doing it, was on the Game Boy Advance version. Pardon me. And that was around 20, I think it was like 23 minutes or something like that. It was extremely short on the Game Boy Advance version. And on this version of the game, that time range is practically double. It's like 44, 43, 44 minutes. Maybe 45 minutes, I can't really remember. But yeah, that's another. It's like one of the other short categories that's in the game that you can also do. But if it's something, if you're looking for a proper challenge, if you really want a challenge, then why not try? Like I said, your best bet is to try the championship mode. Novice, you should be able to do fairly easily, even with barely any practice. I think novice is the one that everyone should try and aim to do if they want to start doing the championship of this game. And then once you've got a bit of confidence and you've lowered your times for novice and everything, try and have a crack at intermediate. Because in the case of, like, say, Joseph, for example, he tried the intermediate, and I think it was a 305 or something that Joseph got.
About that, yeah.
5 or something like that. And bearing in mind that Joseph has not played, he didn't play the intermediate, did you, before that?
That was very first time, yeah.
Yeah, very first time. And at the time, obviously, you knew the novice stage, you just didn't know the intermediate one. So it's proved that you can do the intermediate. I mean, the expert, that's a lot more tougher. I definitely wouldn't recommend that unless you're somewhat. I don't want to go as far as saying you're a pro at the game. You don't have to be a pro, but you really have to know what you're doing and really know how to drive to do the expert to win it. Just throwing that out there. Intermediate, that's for people who really want to challenge. Obviously, expert, for the people that really know what they're doing. Also, that 254, I can't match that. I don't know why, but I can never match the time like that. LuckY's just done it in like it's nothing. He made it look, like I said, he makes it look so easy on that stage compared to how I do it. I do it, I make it 1.5 work. He does it, done. It's crazy. But yeah, overall though, like I said, there's a few little categories. We have two meme categories, which are Mini Cooper percent and Ford Escort percent as well, or Ford Escort Mark 1%. So basically, the idea of these two, you do the Novice Championship, but you do them with a certain car. Obviously, the Mini Cooper percent, you do it with the Mini Cooper. You do it with the if you do the Ford Escort percent, you have to use the Ford Escort Mark 1. Now, these categories are a lot shorter. I say a lot shorter. They're a lot longer than the Novice Championship, even though you're doing the Novice Championship. It's kind of hard to explain.
Can we point something out quickly?
Yes.
I made the mistake in this asphalt straightaway, because this is, I think, yeah, this is a part of the intermediate, and of course, if you pick the wrong gearbox, like this is another part where the gearbox is really important. So if you pick like too short of a gearbox, then you max out your speed too early on that straightaway, and you end up going really slowly. I don't know how long is that section actually.
Probably about 5 or 10 seconds, I think.
Yeah, and the thing is, of course, if you have the long gearbox, you can actually get some speed out of it. But if you don't change that, then it's a big mistake.
It's a fairly quick stage, this one, actually. It does look quick, and it is quick. This is the thing. I think he does, I think it's stage 7 or 8 is a reverse of this stage. Oh, it's 7 actually. 7 is this stage in reverse, so you'll see him doing that straight again, but backward, the other way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And stage 8 is like a minute longer, I think, or a minute and 10 seconds, something like that. So the last two stages are fairly quick, I'd say. But yeah, like you said, it is essential when you're changing the gearbox. Now, for me, I don't really much of the route of when you need to change your gearbox, but it's a good thing that Joe just pointed that out, really, because it is essential. Like I said, in Kenya, the main one is to put it straight to the next notch up, so make your gearbox long straight from the start and keep it there, because most of the stages in Kenya are very fast and go flat out, essentially, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do. Stage 6.
Oh, there's a PB.
Now look at this one. Oh, this one's a bit of a pain. Stage 6 can be a pain. You probably see
That's what
why.
I
You
was
can't really
saying.
tell.
That's what I was saying. The first 4 stages I think are better, and then these these ones are, I don't know, less exciting or whatever.
I wouldn't say less exciting. I'd say they're a bit more challenging.
Mm.
Sort of. I think 5 and 7, which are obviously the same stage but reversed. Basically, that stage is really quick, but then this stage is also very fast. The last 4 stages are a lot quicker than the first 4, thankfully. But they're also a bit more fidgety. Like this one, for example. This one's a bit of a, I call it a really fidgety stage. I don't like this stage at all, mainly because of this junction here, which just nimbly scave through. I absolutely hate this stage. I really do. Luckily, it's short anyway, so it's not that bad. But it is a pretty bad stage. Really bad. A lot of people have probably had grief off it. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
This game
Also, we now
is
get to that progression.
this game is weird because unlike CMR1, which has a lot of the stages, are they average out to maybe about 2.5 3 minutes, I would say on average. But here you have like a lot of extremely short stages and a couple like 4 minute stages. So
Yeah, I think the longest stage in CMR1 is like 5 or 6 minutes, and that's in the UK.
yeah,
Easily.
that's not for a novice run.
Yeah.
But on the
But
novice
on
category, I
here,
think the longest stage is maybe like Sweden one, and that's like 3:10 or something.
yeah, 3.5 minutes.
Something.
And then the longest one on this is probably not even I would say the UK probably, but the UK hasn't even the longest. It's probably more like France or
Italy
Sweden, one
has
of them
some.
stages.
Uh,
Maybe France. Maybe Italy, I don't know, like you said. Can't remember off the top of my head all the stage times, but yeah, you're right. Good point out.
Finland kind of teases you into thinking the rest of the thing's going to be short because Finland's fast. You're done very quickly. But no, that's far. I think Finland is a very fast rally.
I think Finland's always been faster, hasn't it, on this game? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that's what I'm
Generally,
saying.
it's always been
It's
fast
like if
rally.
you're playing for the first time, it's going to mislead you. You think the rest of it's going to be the same, but no.
I think Finland in this game is like Corsica in the original part, because CMR1's Corsica is very fast. In terms, it's not that fast because obviously this will feel quicker, but like I said, the game feels more fast paced in my opinion. It feels quicker in this game to do like Italy or France or something, but then if you do Corsica in the first CMR game, which is one of the quickest rallies there is, you can really feel the sense of speed and cornering skill because them stages require a lot of concentration and a lot of good driving, and obviously car preservation as well, which is something like I said I didn't mention before, but car preservation is very key in this, especially the longer ones like this one, because basically the less time you can spend repairing your car and the better you can look after your car whilst putting your foot down and driving really quick, the better. Because that essentially saves you time in the long run. The only time you really want to be spending in the service areas in these runs is to change your tyres or your gearbox. That's it. You don't want to be repairing your car or anything like that. But obviously, in intermediate and expert, in most cases can't be helped. You'll often get, you often get a stage where the car will come back and it'll be absolutely wrecked. Also, I just noticed something about stage 7. That was the reverse stage 4. Huh. I thought stage 7 was this one. Never mind. So stage 8,
No,
sorry,
this is
is
yeah.
the reverse. Yeah, stage 8 is reverse stage 5. Which means we get that massive one tarmac bit that you like so much, Josie.
Yeah, just pay attention to like how long he stays at top speed for. I think that's how you know how much time you can waste if you don't have the right gearbox.
Thing is, you can adjust your gearbox for these stages, but then you might get a stage where there's a lot of corners. This is the only downside, really. About finding
Yeah,
the right mix.
yeah, you need
Obviously,
to
for the less.
pick your stuff right, optimize it, and all that stuff.
Like I said, the less time you spend, the better, really.
I was gonna say earlier, uh, it just came back to me about the rain and checking if there's rain. Do you spend 2 extra seconds checking if there's rain and switching the tires appropriately if you have good menuing, right? I think that's
Yeah,
actually worth it. I think you will save those 2 seconds during the stage.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I think it's actually worth it anyway.
I think it's about, I do think it's like 10 or 15 seconds,
What do you mean,
Something
10 or
like 10
15
or 15
seconds?
seconds for the straight.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah.
It's not got to on my end yet, but
No,
I
neither
think it's
has.
not 10 or 15 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, it's probably about 15 seconds. Actually,
So
more
yeah,
than
if
that.
you're using your wrong gearbox, you're gonna be stuck at like 210 or something.
That was close.
Pretty close, yeah.
And this is Australia pretty much done. It's on to Kenya next, and then we'll be adjusting his gearbox straight from the start to a longer gearbox. So you can reach a higher top speed. But Kenya's a very fast rally. It's kind of like blinking, you'll miss it, but obviously you don't miss it because it's a very long rally at the same time. So anyway, yeah, that's all there is to say. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss?
Well, we're into Italy
Did I
now,
miss
so
much?
I can say a bit. Some of it.
Also, I see we've had a fair few people be joining in and talking. Yeah, I can only apologise for me being delayed. Just went to get some food, that was all. Because, you know, your boy's got to eat. So, but yeah, it looks like it's doing pretty good so far. I mean, we're in, what, about nearly halfway through Italy already? Yeah, stage 2. Well, it's not even halfway, but getting there. But yeah, to all those that have been tuning in for the last 10-15 minutes, hello, welcome. Hope you guys are all enjoying the stream on McRaeathon here and enjoying the run. Just to ask about the estimate, I think we've got about 40 minutes left, but I think we can easily get under that. Easily be done. To all those, like I said, to all those that are tuning in and watching, we really appreciate it, and we also appreciate your guys' time and obviously patience as well. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the run. Just to mention with Italy, there's only a few cuts, to be honest, anyway. There's a few minor cuts. We have one or two, mainly towards the latter end. Also for Zorkov, if you're asking the flip counter, I think that's about 10 now. Actually, I don't think it's that.
That was an interesting.
Well, like
what happened there?
Yeah, the flip over.
Yeah, what was that? Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was weird. Yeah, we've got, like I said, we've got a couple of cuts in Italy. There's not too much to mention, other than obviously those few minor cuts that the LuckY can do. There will be a few more in the minor stages. Sorry, the latter stage. We've got a few that involve obviously cutting across grass and everything. The main one novice one is obviously cutting across grass behind some guardrails in stage 4. In stage 8 or 7, I think 7 actually, you can get a really good time because you can do them same cuts backwards. And there's even an extra cut that you can perform as well, which allows you to skip like a hairpin, everything like that. So it's even better, really, when you look at it. Also, Paisley's wrote, "Oh, the McRaeathon is this weekend. I can watch it." Yeah, we've already done day 1. This is currently day 2, Paisley. Or Paul, if I can call you that. I know you prefer Paisley, so I'll call you Paisley. Yeah, we've only got one more rally coming up after this, but I believe in terms of the intermediate, I'd say the UK is the hardest in terms of the intermediate championship. Italy is a bit challenging, but the UK will be the biggest test because of 2 things. 1, the weather, and 2, how the stages will go in terms of the cuts that you can do on the stages. So I expect to see the UK be a very interesting rally in terms of cuts and weather. And it's always a very climactic end to this run, to be honest, because you don't know what will happen. As it's a 2:52 for stage 3, I think that is, of the stage 4 now, which is where we get the first main cut of Italy. I think it's around 3rd checkpoint, maybe 2nd and a half or 3rd checkpoint, something like that. That's where the main cut comes in. And like I said, the main cut involves you going behind a couple of barriers, going behind some trees. I know a lot of people struggle with these cuts, but either way, it's a pretty good cut. I think that it does obviously. We won't be doing it if it didn't save any time, which it obviously does. But yeah, so where is it? I think it's after the 2nd checkpoint. But you'll see it in any second now. You'll see how like broken it. It's just coming up on the cut now, I believe. This is it here. Yep, there it is. As you can see, literally nothing but free riding across the Italian landscape. And that does save time. It doesn't look like it saves any, but it does. Like I said, what would be the point in doing that cut if you didn't save any time? I actually cut that chicane, that last chicane that he went through, and also over the grass there, but obviously in the case of, like I said, LuckY's probably playing it safe and not doing some of these cuts, or the point it doesn't save any time on his side, hence the reason why he's not doing them. But if it was me, I'd end up doing that. Also, all that flashing and the glitching that you can see, that is one of the an issue that the game does have. It does glitch out and go all weird for some odd reason. So like the sky will be there, then it'll just disappear and it'll come back again. It's really weird, but then again, it's old 2000s games, so it is to be expected, to be honest. But yeah, Joseph, how did you, when you did Italy on novice and intermediate championships, how did you find it? Find it somewhat difficult?
Yeah, I thought it was difficult, but I think it's mainly because I'm getting rain a lot, so that certainly doesn't make things easier.
That actually makes it 10 times harder.
Yeah, I wasn't getting very lucky on Italy whenever I did the run or anything like that.
Also, that cut that he's just performed there, did you ever do that cut behind the near the house?
No, I don't think I ever tried that.
It does save time. That's the reason why we do it. But
I think the Italy cuts are actually the more difficult cuts than some of the other stages like Greece and all that. Some of the cuts here can be quite challenging.
The other thing to mention as well is that with the latter end of Italy, like I said before, it is a car wrecker. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I would.
One of those rallies where it's a car wrecker.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, if I had to give you a choice on this one, what would you say is worse, the UK or?
Depends on the weather. I think
So I
UK's in
can
the bad.
say,
If it's dry, the UK's fine. So
but if it's wet, which one do I have to go
yeah, then it's quite hard, yo.
for? Mixed opinions on that one.
Yeah, but it's not too bad. A lot of obstacles, of course, but the actual terrain you're driving on is perfectly suited for rally as long as it's dry. But if it's wet, yeah, then you're gonna have some problems for sure.
Plus, it's like slip and slide when it's wet, isn't it?
Yep.
If it's dry, the UK is fine. Oh, so it's bad most of the time. Got it. Yeah, pretty much it is. Because most of the time it does rain in the UK on this game. And if you don't get any rain, it's seen as pretty lucky. You're seen as a really lucky person to not get rain. But obviously, you probably will get rain, but hopefully not at the start. And if you don't get any rain, then you don't get any rain. Yeah, it is pretty realistic when you put it like that, isn't it? And you think about, yeah, so if you don't get any rain in England, is that considered really lucky? Well, in real life, if we don't get any rain, that's pretty lucky for us. Apart from maybe the summer, when it's a bit more dry, but even then it rains. It doesn't really matter, does it? Well, that being said, we did have a heat wave last year in England, so it's not like it's impossible for it to be warm either. We were actually hotter than Portugal or something, weren't we, at one point last year, which was kind of crazy. But it's not warm in this game. It's, I think, obviously when the UK rally was on in these days, obviously it still is now. It's always held at the end of the year in October, November. So you'd be lucky if you get like dry conditions. It's usually boggy and wet. So consider it not very nice to drive it. It's not very practical driving in a wet UK, but you have to be prepared for it no matter what. Yeah, it got above room temperature outside. I was able to take off the parka and swap it for winter jacket. To be honest, when it went warm last year, all I did was just have my vest on. I didn't even bother putting a shirt on. I was like, sack it, a vest will do this time. It was vest weather. Funnily enough, like a fun thing to mention. I don't know how many people this will like stir up, but between Northerners and Southerners, as in not Scotland, but you know, like up towards Manchester and then down towards like London way and that sort of way. Apparently, people are a bit more. What is it? I'm trying to think what I'm trying to think of now. It was something like it's yeah, it's something to do with like if you're in Manchester and it rains, it's like oh, it's not even that bad. But then if you're a southerner or you know you're from like London way, it's kind of like oh, it's awful. Better get the winter jacket on. I don't know. There's some argument that goes round that say like Northerners, people that are from a bit more up north, not Scotland, but Northern England way, the more hard asses. But I don't understand where the whole logic to that came from. It's just a weird thing, isn't it? I don't know if anyone's heard about that sort of thing. It's been like a meme. It's like, oh, it's really cold down here in the south, and it's like, mate, that's t-shirt weather up here. I don't know why, but yeah, I always think it's rather silly. To be honest. How can you compare to them? Also, I believe there's a something that can trigger people from Scotland, as we found out, doesn't we, Daisy? Which is if you say you're from up north, do not say that you're from, you know, from like Manchester way. If you're from up north, you mean Scotland way, not Manchester, because Manchester is in the middle of the middle of the UK, not not the middle of the UK, a bit more north of the middle, but something like that. Apparently, that was a conversation we had at UKSG. It was like, how do you trigger people in Scotland other than saying that iron crew's crap, obviously? Like, oh, there's a lot of things saying you're from up north when really you're from the middle of the country, not from Scotland. It's like, really? People get triggered by that? Apparently, yeah. Anyway, I may have missed track there, but I don't know, it's all a lot of hogwash, personally. I don't think it's. I don't think that's genuine. Also, it's just started raining. It's the north to the south. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's just something that I heard. Obviously, it's false. Although it depends how you view it. Some people might be like, triggered. Well, I don't think most people will be, to be honest. Should be fine. Southern North and South South. What in the hell? I've never heard of these things before in Scotland. Wait, so like you go not like northern northern Scotland, so like Aberdeen way. What's that? Is that just North Scotland? Or is there some like special thing, right? Oh, you're just making jokes, okay. Ignore what I just said then. Oh dear. oh, we're going there, Raoul. We're going there. Okay. Oh dear. Oh no. Also, we had that funny dilemma at UKSG as well, if I remember correctly. That was to do with who was it? What was he called now? The Welsh lad, by the way. Oh, the guy who's from Wales. Him. That was at UKSG. And he had a Welsh flag on him, and he was in the middle of Glasgow, and he went, I should do this. I was like, why have you got a Welsh flag? He's like, well, I'm Welsh. I went, alright, that figures. And he said, yeah, apparently the Glaswegians don't like, yeah, poppies, that's it, poppy. Apparently Glaswegians do not like the Welsh, but I went, since when? He told me something, but I can't remember. Apparently it's something to do with, they had an argument, Glasgow versus Wales. I don't know if it's just like a particular city like Cardiff, or if it's the whole of Wales, but apparently he was a dead man walking. But I was like, wait, so what? I didn't understand it, to be honest, but whatever. I never heard of the story about him, to be honest. I never heard that the Welsh and Glaswegians don't get on. Never heard it. Unless he was making it up, but he was genuinely convincing with what he was telling me. I don't know. It's a sports thing. As far as I'm aware, Wales is good, England is screwed. Except North England, they're alright. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's a sports thing, I don't know. Well, I suppose we've got one thing to thank Wales for, and that's Nicky Grist. And we have a few things to thank Scotland for, which is obviously Irn-Bru, Colin McRae, the others. Well then, what do you... Oh, speaking of which, here we go. It's England. And it's dry. What are the chances? Joseph, you're seeing this, right? It's dry. Oh my god. He's got the good weather. I bet he's just like, please give me good weather. Please give me good weather.
Yeah, how long is this gonna keep up for, though? Can only hope, you know.
Well, if it starts really sunny, which it is at the moment, then you can probably get it for about 4 stages at most.
Yeah, if the
raining at the end of stage 3 or 4, or you'll get fog.
if the sky is like it is right now, is there still a chance of it starting to rain at the end?
Oh, easy. It will rain at some point. I think he's just prepared the tyres just in case it rains, which he probably will towards like the latter end of the stage.
The weather changes so quickly.
This is the thing with this game, though, is that you can't predict the weather. Mind you, then again, in England, you can't predict the weather anyway. But, yeah, you can... Oh, that wasn't good. Yeah. In England, you can't predict the weather, and in this game, it's the exact same. You can't predict the weather here either.
I just think the UK is so... Like, this is incredibly broken. the cuts you're doing, and oh my goodness,
Well, the
fascinating
thing is, the
actually.
cuts that are right at the end of this stage, I can never pull off. Like, it's extremely lucky if I can pull these off. But yeah, Lucky can do it without a problem. Although that being said, what does that say? I messed up. I don't think he will. He knows what he's doing. If he can get it. It is a hard cut to get, to be fair. Can he get it? He's got one. What about the other one? This one's tricky, though. He's got that as well. Nice. And a little over 2 minutes. 2:01. Nice. Right, is it going to rain? No. Stage 2, still looking dry. Okay. So.
Looking decent.
Somewhat. Well, we're only at stage 2, but that's still pretty good.
It's already 50%.
Usually you
So
get, well, the downside is with the weather is you can get really good weather in stage 1, but then stage 2 it'll just start chucking it down. I've had it before. I remember when I tried doing like a completely, like a really good run of the UK. And this was just when I was practicing. I think I had to restart the rally about 15 times to get literally just all clear novice. And yeah, like to get all clear novice and everything. And it was unreal. I'm like thinking, nah, there's no way it's just all dry. And I was like, right, better not screw this up. And luckily I didn't, but I got fog, I think, on stage 4, and that was great. But it is still, like I said, even with dry weather, I still think the stages can be somewhat difficult. I mean, with the cuts, obviously, it makes it look easy, which it is. But if you do it without the cuts, it ain't easy at all. The thing is, getting really good RNG in a run like this is not the easiest thing in the world. How's the weather looking now? Still dry. I was sort of right. Yeah, it's still dry. So I reckon that you'll get to the end of this stage or the next, and then it'll start raining. I'm gonna say, obviously this is random by the way, but I'm gonna say stage 5. It's gonna rain. I'm actually putting guessing. It's like gambling my life away. I'm not putting money on this, by the way, but glad I'm not. But you know, I think he will get rain, but it'll be on stage 5. He doesn't have to worry about the last stage though. Stage 9, or the super special stage that he's got to do. That's always dry. They always default that to dry. Thankfully. That's the thing, like with the super special stages, it's always set to dry, no matter what. Give you the best chance against AI. Thank God for that, because if they set it to wet conditions, that'd be really hard. Like imagine doing the UK super special stage in wet weather. Not the easiest thing in the world. I just remembered something. Actually. Like, it would be really cool if you could do it, but I don't think it's possible. But to manipulate the weather so it's always sunny or always raining, I don't think it's possible. But it'd be nice if you could find out how to manipulate it. That would be.
I think a joke was made yesterday about weather manipulation.
What you did?
No, I think Lucky made a joke about it during his off run.
Yeah, but how you got the bad weather, I think, when he was running.
No, that he's doing the rolls so he can manipulate the weather.
Oh yeah, that was it. Dude, if that's a thing, then that's a pretty good start. I doubt it, though. I really doubt it. It seems to have worked for Lucky, though. He's got really good weather on the UK. But then again, it got rain in... Where did he get rain? He got rain in Italy. And he got rain in Australia and Finland as well. I did not get, oh, he didn't get any. Did he get any rain in Australia? I can't remember. Maybe he does. Don't remember though. So now comes the one with the master trick, stage 4. So I don't think Lucky's gonna go for it. I don't blame him if he isn't. But there is like a master trick that you can do in this this stage, and the master trick is basically you can cut through a fence. Long story short, you can cut through a fence, and it'll allow you to basically just cut like most of the stage out. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to go for it or not, but if he does, then he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Also, it's raining. What are the chances? Oh my god. Okay. Well, good job he's got his wet tyres on, at least. Yeah, it's just started raining. What are the chances? I think he's going to be repairing his gearbox actually and his turbo and everything at the end of the stage. His car's pretty knackered. So the master trick, we could call it, the master trick is basically a cut that you can do. After you go over the bridge where you respawn and you're on top of the bridge, when you go around that hairpin there, you go across and you turn left and you're doing that other cut. Well, instead of going and using all that cut and everything else, you basically just drive straight, turn around and head back towards the fence where the crowd is, and there's a little gap. And if you can make the car fit through that little gap, then you can go through like an invisible fence. And like a fence that looks solid, but it isn't. It's not solid. It looks it, but it isn't. And then from there, all you've got to do is obviously go around and everything else, and then that's that really. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. And you can do the stage in like a minute and 20 seconds and stuff like that.
That was apparently a PV. What's up, huh? Okay.
Now comes the worst stages. Stage 5, 6, 7 and 8 of the UK. These are some of, if not the worst stages in the game, I think. In this run, not in the game. The worst stages in this run. Mainly because there's barely any cuts, and the ones that you can do, well, let's just say they're pretty hard to remember. Because I've tried remembering those cuts and I can't remember them. In the past when I was like, oh, I know this route, I know exactly where to cut the corner. Nope. 116, yeah. I think, is that your PVs off, Golf, if you can see that cut? Yeah, the stage used to take like 2.5 to 3 minutes to do, stage 4. Then it got cut down to 2 minutes with those original cuts that you saw Lucky take. And if you get the master cut, you can get it down to like a minute and 15 seconds with the CR. A minute and 16 is off Golf on it too. Which is pretty impressive, wouldn't you say? So we basically shaving like a minute and a half to 2 minutes off the time, which is crazy. Also, that he's got one of the cuts in stage 5. That one, I knew there was 2 cuts, but I forgot which ones were where. That's one of them. There is another one which is minor though. Also, Joseph, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you can make it underestimate? I still reckon you can, you know.
For which? For CMR?
For this.
For this? He can. Can you do it? Oh yeah, I think so. Not.
Okay, the
It's gonna be
charge.
close, but I think so. Yeah.
We're at 2:35 now, so, but I think, given the fact that stage 8 is like a minute and you can do the super special stage in like 40 seconds, I think, yeah, should be doable. Just depends how his stage 6 and 7 go. I'm just realising something here. At the end of stage 6 in the UK, this is actually part of stage 8. It's the latter half of it, anyway. So the latter half of the stage, what he's doing now, going through all this grass, he's actually going to be doing all this in stage 8 at night, though. Fingers crossed the weather gods are good to him. Also, other than the rain he's had at the end of stage 4, this is going to be one of them one in God knows how many chances it is at flawless UK in terms of the weather. God damn. Yep, so this is stage 7. It is a reverse of stage 5. And like I said, stage 8 is pretty much, like I said, a repeat of stage 6 at the end, except it's a lot shorter and goes in a slightly different direction. And it takes about a minute and 20 seconds or less. Unlike when you try and do it on PC version. There's actually a major cut which LuckY can do in this, which you can do here. There you go. Actually saves several seconds. We're now at the end of stage 7. Weather's still sticking out though. Not too bad. You reckon you can get a flawless one, Joseph?
I'm not sure.
That is in a flawless weather. At the moment, he's pretty much flawless.
Pretty much, but But yeah, this is some damn good RNG.
Yeah, I'll say. I bet LuckY can't believe his luck. No pun intended, but I don't think I can believe his luck. Neither can I. No, good old RNG. No fun allowed. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I was saying, oh yeah. So England's all about the RNG and all this stuff, and then it just happens to go, no, you know what? We're just gonna give it a dry UK, so it's gonna look bad. Well, this is the last stage before the super special. This is about a minute and 20 something seconds. This is actually the end of stage 6, but it's got a slight few twists and turns. So you've got the main bit on the grass, but then when you get back onto the gravel, it tells you to take a different route. So, for example, you end up going like towards the latter end of the stage. You end up like doing a hairpin right instead of going left, and following the rest of the stage like you would for stage 6. But yeah, it's pretty good so far. There we go, this is where he comes off. So he comes off here, follows the track round, and then you'll eventually get to a hairpin. Oh, in stage 6, you don't actually do the hairpin, you just go straight. This is the one I was talking about right here. That was actually good timing on the synchronization too. But yeah, like I said, it's fairly straightforward, but obviously it's a very hard stage, and also, as Joseph, you would put it, the AI is like on drugs here.
sometimes they really are, like, on certain splits, it's like, how is it even possible?
That is stage 8, and that means there is only the super special left to go. And time will obviously end when I see the cutscene of LuckY. So what's going to happen here is when he gets disqualified, there'll be a cutscene, and then time will be when he hits the car or that cutscene shows. And that's it. That is the run done and dusted. And that was a 2:44.05 LuckY.
Isn't that a PB by about a hair?
Maybe, I don't know. Also, look at the total rally times, by the way. Holy cow. He only just won. Oh my god. I got a live split running, nice. Yeah, I got a 2:44.05. What did you get, look? I'm guessing you got a 2:44.04 or 03, but yeah, you literally won that by... Alright. Yeah, I timed it at the exact same moment, nice. Yeah, you only just won the UK rally by a whisker, but GG, well done. Also, they must have been rally that you didn't win because you got 88 points in. But still, well done. And yeah, that's your new PB. I didn't win Kenya. Ah, right. Yeah, it's pretty difficult to win, isn't it?